So if it hasn't been clear that Star Wars is one of my favorite things, then I guess you just haven't been paying attention. It is May the 4th. It's Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And so, what better way to celebrate Star Wars Day than talking to you about another great Star Wars book? But I want to kind of do something a little bit different because I'm not just going to talk about a Star Wars book. I'm going to talk about a Star Wars series of graphic novels. Now, I mentioned in one of my earliest videos that one of the ways that I collect comic books is in omnibus form. And an omnibus is a big book that collects like 50 issues of a comic book. So, whereas if you go buy a graphic novel, it probably has 7 or so issues of a comic book, an omnibus has multiple graphic novels within it. So I wish in a way that I could hold up each individual graphic novel and say, this is great, you should read this is great, you should read this. But just like a series of books, as I talk about the later volumes, it's going to spoil what happens in the earlier volumes. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about a comic series, and I'm going to talk about my omnibus. Okay, so this is a daunting book. You look at this and you may be like, there's no way I'm going to read that much. It's like 1,500 pages of Star Wars greatness. But again, that may not be for you. You may not be someone that likes to read quite that much. But this is Jason Aaron's run on Star Wars, the comic book. Now, this is amazing stuff. Jason Aaron has made a huge name for himself in comics with this, his run on Thor, and a bunch of other things. But this is some of my favorite comic books that exist. Now, the Star Wars comic books take place, at least this series does, take place kind of between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So, we've seen Lucas starting to learn more about the Force. He's gaining his knowledge. These guys are going on some adventures. Darth Vader is out there. They know who he is. And actually, I say it's between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. It might be between the first Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. But the graphics on this are amazing. The illustrations. Guys, this is, if you love the original Star Wars trilogy with Luke and Han and Chewbacca and Leia and C-3PO and R2-D2 and the Force and all the spaceships and all the fights, this is the way to go. And it's so well loved, so well respected, that people are eager for more volumes to come out. Look at these great action shots. You got great space. And then in the back, you've got this amazing... Let me get back there. This is all the covers from the different comics and stuff, including variant covers. Guys, if you love Star Wars and you've not read any of Jason Aaron's Star Wars run, do yourself a favor and pick it up. It's going to make your day that much better, and I highly recommend. Of all the titles, there's quite a few Star Wars titles, but the named Star Wars-ish graphic novel is one of the best. I'm going to talk about another one later, but for now I'm going to stop here. Pick up the Star Wars graphic novels by Jason Aaron.